Hi, welcome back. Good to see you. If this is the first video you saw of me, my name is Denny Denholm. I'm the author of Fighting Your Demons, Attitude Revolution, and the Bible of Boxing, which is a book on boxing training, which is my normal job. Over the last few years, last 8 years, I've taken a back seat in life and went out into the world and made myself very, very grey. I live in a very small island. I had a bar and now I have a boxing gym, and I've been hiding away from who I really am as a crisis management consultant, someone who loves a crisis and can manage a crisis. The situation right now we face is coronavirus is going crazy. I've been writing books for years and years and years about how to keep your shit together when things like this happen, and now I'm coming to you and going, well, it just turns out I've written a book about this sort of thing. But one of the fun things that I really enjoyed when I was writing the book Attitude Revolution, and I did enjoy writing it, I didn't enjoy when I finished it and I read it and then I started to realise, I'm pretty much way ahead of my time here, and I don't think the world's ready. I finished writing this 5 years ago, and to be honest with you, 5 years ago, the Me Too movement hadn't happened yet. Epstein hadn't been put in jail and then suicided yet. Weinstein hadn't sort of been busted. Now had Kevin Spacey, the Clintons and the Bushes, and all these people have been accused of doing something very, very terrible. And I knew that a long time ago and was trying to get out to the world. But in doing so, I found myself isolated and gone into a recluse so I could write more stuff, right? So I've been writing kind of fantasy novel stuff as well, but this stuff is kind of fantasy novel, but it's an attitude revolution, right? The book is about you finding a revolution for yourself so that you can then make the changes so that you can have a better quality of life. It's kind of like that. You got your own shit to deal with, man. So before you start saying, that guy should do this and this guy should do that and this and that, you need to have a wee look at yourself and say, well, am I doing anything for my life? Because if you're a big fat guy who maybe will die in 2 weeks because of a fucking coronavirus, because your respiratory system is in bits, because your heart's in bits and all these different things, you know what I mean? Where's the long-term investment in you, man? All right, just saying. So this is in the second chapter of my book, Attitude Revolution, right? It's called Dreamtime. I learned to dream with the Australian Aboriginals, by the way, but I start with this. Could you create your own kingdom? I grew up as a Catholic, and I heard that Jesus Christ would come back one day and he would award us all kingdoms, and off we would trot, and would have lots of kingdoms in the world to share the world with. That's what I thought was going to happen. I was a kid. I know it's not the same anymore, but I have to say it wouldn't be bad if that was the case, would it not? All right. So I wrote, if God were to come to the earth tomorrow and say, sons and daughters, I promise you, those who believed that upon my return you would be rewarded a kingdom. For those who've had faith and prepared their souls, go now with your people and raise your kingdom. What king or queen would you be? That's from Fighting Your Demons, which was written in 2009. I brought it to the Dreamtime book, which I finished in 2015. Or the Attitude Revolution book. Same question that kept on fucking around my head and round my head and round my head. Come on, let's think about that. Why does everyone not want to be a leader? Why does everyone not want to take responsibility for their part of this puzzle? So I go on, could you create your own kingdom? Take a few minutes to ponder this, I write. No matter which religion you have faith in, or even if you've had no faith at all, have a think about this thought, which is inspired by history, right? It's a historical thing that someone said, and it's been said by kings and queens of generations, way before Moses, which is inspired by history. Moses is in the Quran, Moses is in the Torah, Moses is in the Old Testament. Just saying, there's a little bit of relevance of the three main religions there with the history of their own Allah, God, or Jesuit, whatever you want to call it. And thousands of year old messages that have been passed through the millennia from person to person. Would you be happy being the person that you are now, or the person that you wish you could be? Think about it for a minute. If you were awarded a kingdom given to you by God, what kingdom would you create? You ever thought about that before? Just You. You, the kingdom. What moral basis would you build it on? Would it be a kingdom of families and friends and lovers? Would the other members be? Who would the other members be? And what roles would they play? And why? I didn't write that, but why? Why would you choose these people? Do you think that there would be a hostility from some other people or some other nations? It's a good possibility. What would you do in the event of a crisis like this coronavirus? What would you do in crisis? What would you do to prevent the crisis? How would you have prevented this to be a crisis? Would you have told and communicated with your government, your people? Would you have controlled your medical services so that they were well educated in these things, pandemics, and not overworked? Would you pay them better than the people around the world get paid for being nurses and doctors? But at times like this, these are the ones who are saving the world, but yet you skimp and scrape to give them a penny for their wages. What king or queen would you be? And how would you deal with your kingdom? Would you handle feeding the people? And what hospital system would you use? Would you create new laws and new ideology? Would you be quick to realise that as a quick king or queen that you would need to delegate and be forward thinking? You can't do it all yourself. Go back to who would the other members be and what roles would they play? Would you want your people to cheer and praise your name and shout, "Long live the king," as they do in Thailand? Or would you prefer that people bow respectfully, or even just give you a cheeky little wink? You're the king. You're the queen. You decide. Or indeed, would you choose a dark kingdom where you will take revenge on all those that have taken vengeance on you and other weak victims? Would you be the one who says, right, that's it, everyone has been terribly bad to you and people like them, round them up, get them in jail, and see if we can get them better? Or would you bring the death penalty to the forefront? Would you chop people's heads off? Would you shoot them in the head? Would you forgive them? Would you isolate them? What would you do? What would you do? What was your thoughts, man? There's people out there who just totally disagree with the law. There's people out there who couldn't live without the law. What would your opinion be? Would you have a law? Would you let people be outlaws? Rule themselves? Would your knights, modern of course, or would you get them to be looking like the old days with their metal suits? Would your knights be fierce and ruthless as you stampede your justice on the world, or would they be patient, kind and understanding? You got to think, if they're going to be kind and patient and understanding, there might be a time where they get bullied, abused. What then? There's a thing we almost called our bar, we built 7, 8 years ago. We almost called it Sprezzatura. If you don't know what Sprezzatura is, have a look in the description box, and I'll give you a link to what Wikipedia probably says to it. Right, but basically it was gentlemen, it wasn't women, it was gentlemen during the Renaissance who basically were trained in the art of being awesome. That's all I'll say about that right now. So back to the book. Have you ever taken time to think like this? What a fantasy, right? To create your own kingdom with your new rules for your people and fresh alliances with those that have experience from their former nation's history. So basically not just going to create your kingdom with your mates. You're going to say, right, okay, we've got these guys in the land. These are what their experiences are. Can we utilize them to make the kingdom stronger? In today's world, due to recent wars, there are people from many different nations all gathered in towns and cities. Refugees from all over the world have found homes in the UK, Australia, Canada, USA, Europe, and many other countries. Our world has amalgamated and needs a few simple spiritual and intellectual adjustments, and we could have achieved peace on earth. Easy. I have no doubt whatsoever in this. Self-respect for all could be achievable if the new systems of the new kingdoms were fair and respectful, and most importantly transparent. This fantasy is not too far away from the reality if only more people could see it and believe in it. Can you imagine the challenge of creating a brand new world? Right, I'm going to leave it there because obviously I go in then to if I were king of the world in the book, right? But have a play with this, right? No, I said, as I'm trying to get you guys to do, is give me a video, record a couple of minutes of your questions or your answers. Do you know what I mean? Give us an answer. Like, don't just sit there and write what you want to write, and that kind of gives people a false sense of security, and then you can get into deep arguments and start to get lost and start to slag each other off and be not nice, when really the whole objective of this game, of this time to pass time, is to think about it. What moral basis would you have? Don't you know what moral means? Google it. If you're looking down a question, you don't know what that means, Google it. Go educate yourself on these things. Think about the systems in place. Think about the hospitals and the education systems that you would use. This could take 4 weeks to do it. I mean, I wrote this book, Attitude Revolution, and it literally took me 3 years to go through it. But I wrote this in chapter 2, right? Because I wanted to get the reader to think all the way through the book as a leader. Don't think for 1 minute you're not a leader. You're a leader of your family. Some people who are leaders of the family abuse their family and beat their kids up and beat their wives up. Some people who are leaders of the family are amazing people and teach their kids and educate them in many ways of thinking, many ways of acting, in loving ways, and such that makes them beautiful people. Some kids rebel, just don't like it. Some kids of nasty families become beautiful people because they want to be different. So we all have something unique we want to change. Is there a possibility that we can create a new kingdom without violence? Or do you guys think that we have to have violence to outlaw pedophilia, to outlaw terrorism, to outlaw murder, to outlaw rape? What's the solution? How do we fix it? 8 billion people in the world. That's a lot of dudes, man. Alright, I'll leave it with you. So if you've not subscribed, please do that for us right now. We're on the Denny the Trainer channel. This is part of the Fuck That podcast, right? So subjects that you just say, fuck that, should be a good conversation starter. All the links down at the bottom here to buy books. It'd be lovely if you could purchase books to help us survive this coronavirus. We've closed the gym. We've got no more money coming. We've got no more money coming in. We've got no more savings. So we're just trying to utilise what we were working on over the last couple of years to try and get ourselves out of the shit, so we don't fall into a bit of trouble here in Thailand. So if you've got the money and you would like an interesting read, you can buy Fighting Your Demons, Attitude Revolution. Or if you're a boxer or a fitness enthusiast, you would like to get into a little bit of boxing training, you can go purchase a book called Bible of Boxing. Each of those books come with you get a personal email address to me, so we can keep in touch as well, so you're not going to be stuck out there on your own going crazy thinking all these things and not having someone to bash it off. Right, so I'm really inspiring that you send in video answers. I don't know if you can do that on your bandwidth and all that sort of stuff, so please don't just think if you can't send a video, don't not send a message, but send a message, start a conversation here. I would like to hear about all these things, man. I wrote these books and I've been sitting on them for this one for 5 years, and I haven't had a chance to talk about it with anyone. So I'm lonely, I'm in the jungle on my own. I've got the muckers up the back end building someone's house, utilising their time and polluting my jungle noise. But until then, until the next time, this is Denny Denholm talking about fuck that subjects on my new podcast, and today we're talking about a little bit about attitude revolution. Could you create your own kingdom? That's the question. Could you create your own kingdom? And what kind of kingdom would you create? Alright, looking forward to hearing your responses. I'm going to put all the sort of memories in the description box. I'm going to put all your bullet points just in case you forgot of all the subjects that we were speaking about there. You'll see them all down there so you can answer your questions. But yeah, love to hear from you. Please share these videos if you want someone else to be a little bit educated and talk about things that are not really talked about too much in the world. Please invite them over to the Denny the Trainer YouTube channel. It was designed in the beginning to be a boxing training channel, but as the years progressed, Fighting Your Demons became more of a self-help book, and I've spent most of my time sort of helping people in that sort of genre. So I can't be in the gym now for a few weeks, so you've got me online. I don't care if you got 1 subscriber or if we get 10. We've got 9,600 subscribers on the subscribers list right now. It'd be great if you could be part of that. Just by clicking subscribe, you'll get these videos to your inbox, to your phone, to your laptop, to your computer. We watch some of the podcasts we can on our big 52-inch flat screen TV, so I think the HD quality in all of it is going to be just enough so that you can do that. It's almost 15 minutes, so please subscribe, send a message, send an email. You can get me on Facebook, Denny Denholm. You can get me here on YouTube, Denny the Trainer. You can get my business and my books at the rawartwarriors.com, rawartwarriors.com/books. And don't waste your time in this isolation. Don't waste your time with EastEnders or your soap operas, and try and get educated, because if the world is at war, this is a time to wake the fuck up. Now, this is Denny Denholm saying fuck.